Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jason White. This is my channel, Jason's Weird Reads. If you're new here, please, and you like horror fiction, science fiction, and fantasy, please hit the subscribe button and we'll discuss some books. So I was recently tagged from Dane by Dane Reads to do the channel history tag, and I thought, why not? I love talking about my channel, and yet there's no one to talk to about my channel because nobody in my life really cares, but that's okay. Alright, so he was tagged by Ben. I'm not too sure if Ben was the original creator of this tag. I'm going to put that information down there too in the comments, just so, or not in the comments, but in the show notes, just so that you know. Alright, so question number 1. Tell us about your very first video and where were you in life when you filmed it? Now that's interesting because I did do like a video way back in 2011. I started a channel back then. It's different from this channel, and I don't have access to it anymore because I don't have the email. I used to get my email um, through a cable service, and since then I have lost that email because I stopped using that cable service, and so I don't know where that channel is. It could have even been erased by Google. Anyways, my first video on that, I don't even know what I was talking about, to be honest. I used to like go to the graveyard with my camera and take video at night and take videos of tombstones, and I'd put like Nox Arcana music to it, and I thought that was cool. Um, so, like I said, that video is pretty well gone. And you know what? That video I was just talking about, Goodreads, or not Goodreads, YouTube did get rid of that video because there was a copyright violation on it. But on this channel, my first video, I was pretty much in the same place exactly as I am now, except I think I'm a little better and a little more comfortable in front of the camera than I was back then. Um, and way back in 2011, 2010, when I did that first one, I was working a different job. I obviously had a different cable service, and I didn't have my son. Life was completely different back then. But, you know, uh, that's life. It changes. Question number 2. Tell us about your most viewed video and what went into creating it. And my most viewed video is my top 10 horror books, and that has like close to 10,000 views. As of this recording, it was around 9,500 views, and to me that's just insane. It's like, whoa. It was basically simple. I just went and chose 5 of my favorite, or 10 of my favorite horror novels and put them on the list. Although I will make the distinction that I wanted to fill it mostly with indie books because horror really thrives in the indie scene. Indie horror, uh, indie horror is pretty much where it's at. If you want to read indie, or if you want to read horror, and you want to expand out of Stephen King, and you want to grow as a horror reader, and not just stick to classics either, then and you want to read like books that are coming out today, you got to go to the indie scene because that's where they all are. I'm not talking about just self-published books. Like you have indie publishers too, like Crystal Lake Publishing. My mind is drawing a blank on other ones, but there's a ton of them. Okay, number 3. Tell us about a video that you were most excited about when you finished recording it. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the top 10 horror because that's the video I had wanted to make for a long time. And the funny thing about that, even though it's my most successful video, the video itself is terrible. There's this weird humming sound in the background that I don't know where it came from. And one of the pictures I used for the Tim Curran book that I have listed in there, Fear Me, it came out all weird. I don't know why that happened. It looked fine on the computer, but it didn't transfer very well. And I am planning on making another of those, actually. I probably should have done it sooner since that video was so successful. But you know me, I take my time, and I'm good with that. Okay, number 4. Tell us about a point in your BookTubing, AuthorTubing career that was particularly challenging either creatively or personally. Um, I don't really talk about it too often, but I do have depression and anxiety disorder, and sometimes I just have a lot of trouble uh, motivating myself to do anything, period. And my own writing actually reflects that. Any artistic activity, I get stumped on because I mean that's a whole different area, I guess. But I think depression really affects that. I lose my motivation, and so basically, it's getting over my own issues and soldiering on. Sometimes I'm just not feeling it, and sometimes life is like it's not just depression either. Sometimes life is really crazy and busy, and I just want to get to making some videos because I really love doing this hobby. Um, and so sometimes it's just impossible to do it, and that's really the biggest hurdle that I have to jump over. Uh, so yeah, that. Number 5, tell us about a moment in your booktubing, authortubing career that was a high point for you, or something you're particularly proud of. I don't know if I'm proud of anything except for maybe the whole thing, the fact that I've stuck to it and that I still enjoy doing it after a year and a half. But I'll tell you one of the biggest moments is the shout outs I get. I had a few big ones that really, like, whoa, they came out of the blue. The first one was from Hey Little Thrifter, Alex. She did a shout out to me, and that really expanded my channel quite a bit. And then Cameron Chaney shouted me out on his, I think, top 10 horror booktubers, and that my channel took off. I was at like 300 subscribers then, and it took off after his recommendation or his shout out, and I I was floored. I was not expecting that. I remember waking up and seeing his video there, and while I was making my breakfast, I watched it, and I was like, I was in there, and I was like, me? And then my channel grew, and it grew, and it grew, and so that was uh, that was a very high point for me. Both those shout outs. I've been shouted out by other people, and I appreciate it every time I get shouted out. But the really big ones, when bigger channels shout you out, you're just like, you get a little dizzy, honestly. And also, I also want to mention the online friends I've made. Made some really good online friends, I feel, and this whole thing has been a very positive experience. And that includes some of the drama that's happened. I generally stay out of that crap, but every once in a while I'll stick my nose in with an opinion. All right, where were we here? Number 6. Tell us about an aspect of being a content creator that you had to try really hard to get good at or are still struggling with. Well, one big struggle for me on the technical side was when my Mac died on me, my MacBook Pro. I really loved using the Mac, what's it called? iMovie? I think that's what it's called. I really loved using that editing software. And I moved from using MacBook Pro because they're just so damn expensive. So I moved to a PC, and finding something that works as smoothly and as well was damn near impossible. And that's one reason why my video output has slowed down a bit since I lost my MacBook Pro. But the good news is I found one that seems to be working really good right now. It's Filmora. They came out with like the version 9.2 with where they returned the render button, and at first that was horrible. But then they did an update on that, and it's worked just as good as uh, as the iTunes or the Apple one. So I'm happy that I can actually edit my videos with little distractions. And the whole learning about creating videos and editing, and one thing I would really like to do is some of the creative things that I see other booktubers doing. I would really love to do some of those effects things, but with this new laptop that I have, I've been afraid of doing that because it might take a couple of days just to add in one little thing. But I might try again now because the thing seems to work a lot faster now. So that's excellent. Number 7, tell us a story that sticks out in your mind that happened as a result of you being part of BookTube, AuthorTube. I'm gonna go back to the making friends. There was like some readathons and read-alongs with some really cool people. Uh, Rachel from Shades of Orange, she has been phenomenal in support to my channel, and the people I've met and hung out virtually with to discuss books. Uh, it's pretty much what I was looking for when I started this. I just wanted to come on here and join the BookTube community so I could like just sit here and talk about books. I wasn't sure that I would be able to actually make friends, but I have, and it's been a blast. Number 8. All right, you just spent however long talking about yourself. You're awesome, we know. It's why we watch your content. Tell us about someone else in the BookTube, AuthorTube community you think deserves more attention than they get at the moment. There's a lot of people, actually, and I don't know if I can remember them all. Regina from Regina's Haunted Library. I don't know why she doesn't have a higher BookTube or subscriber count. She makes awesome videos, and she's very creative and very knowledgeable on the horror genre. Also, Harpies in the Trees, Mers, I think her name is. It's kind of a weird name for me, so I always forget it. But she makes phenomenal videos as well. She blows me out of the water. She's relatively new, I think, within the last 6 months to a year, somewhere in there anyway. And she doesn't have very many subscribers. We need to fix that. She needs more subscribers. She makes phenomenal content. Her videos are very entertaining. Her editing skills they're very good, to say the least. Also, some of the also newer ones like Written in Blood, John. He he does a lot of bookshelf tours. Right now, I think he's doing his movie tours. I recommend him, especially if you like book tour type of content. Um, there's Richard, but I can't remember his channel name. I think it's Are You Into Horror? That's it. He does a lot of fun videos as well. He's relatively new within the last few months, and of course there's also Chuck from the Book Dweller. He does some really awesome content. He should have a bigger. He has a room that's dedicated to his library, and it looks like a pretty big room. You should go check out that video. It He has a lot of books, and I envy him. All right, so I think that's it. I'm gonna tag Todd the librarian, Regina from Regina's Haunted Library. I think I'm gonna stick with that. Thanks again to Dane from Dane Reads for tagging me. He's another channel. If you haven't checked him out, he does really awesome vlogs, and he's also a musician, so you get a lot of songs in his vlogs. Um, he reads a lot. It's mind-boggling how much he can read in 1 month sometimes. Definitely go check out his channel as well. He's awesome. And thank you for watching, and keep being creative. I'll catch you in the next books video.